Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. A new day, new us. Time to make some more world. I mean, it's just one world, but time to fill that world, I guess. I don't know how English works. What is this? Okay, something okay. Am I live on both? Shit. Am I live? Let me just check it. Needs to check myself. Okay, I'm live. Uh, I am live. That's good. That's good. That's good. That is good. So, what do we have today? What are we gonna do today? I mean, I know what I'm gonna do today, but do you guys know what I'm gonna do today? Is my mic volume low? I mean, the gain is pretty good. Do I need to be closer to in order for the mic to? Anyways, I'm gonna continue to watch this video. I have to finish this video. Last yesterday last stream I left it at surface identity, and note to myself, need to work on surface identity. Yesterday after like the Brazil match, I just couldn't go live, man. That match was too much for me. I couldn't. I was on the edge for the entire match. Like I was pretty much gonna be depressed. Like I was this close to getting depressed again. Thankfully, hopefully, how do I say it? Hopefully, thankfully, Brazil won, and I didn't go to depression. That
Doesn't
was
feel
good.
interchangeable. It's making sure that when someone encounters your setting, they can immediately tell where they are. A lot of worlds plateau here. They look incredible. They feel distinct, and they're highly polished. But underneath that polish, the deeper systems might not be integrated yet. And that's where level 4 starts.
Functional power.
Level 4, Functional Power. Level 4 is where your world stops just looking distinct and starts behaving logically. Functional power is about what's under the hood. It's about understanding that if something powerful exists in your setting, whether it be magic, technology, or divine influence, it doesn't just sit there as a cool feature. It reshapes the world around it. At this level, you stop asking, is this cool? And you start asking, what does this actually do? If magic
Instead of asking if this shit is cool, what if I'm like, is this useful? Like, since it's a game, instead of just being cool, is it fun? I should be asking, is this power fun?
is common, what does that do to labor? If dragons exist, how does that affect warfare? If one nation has superior technology, how does the rest of the world respond? Functional power is the point where cause and effect begin shaping the setting. This helps your world because it keeps you from cheating. If power has rules and consequences, you can't just solve problems however you want. You have to work inside the world you built. When something big happens, it won't feel random. It will feel like the result of pressure that has been building. And for the audience, this is where things begin to start clicking. They stop feeling like they're watching events happen because the plot needs them to. They start feeling like the world would react this way, whether the main character existed or not. Now let's look at a few examples. Magic systems in Mistborn. Mistborn is a really good example of functional power through magic. The magic isn't vague, it has rules. You ingest certain metals, you get specific abilities. Those abilities have limits. Some are stronger than others, and some counter those. Because of that, the world builds around it. There's an elite class that controls most of the power. Political authority concentrates around people who can use it. Assassinations and security look much different. Even how people move through cities change because certain powers exist. The magic doesn't just sit there as a cool feature. It creates a completely different hierarchy. And when characters solve problems, they're solving them inside of a system you understand. That's what makes it satisfying. They're not pulling something new out of anywhere, they're working within the rules you already know. Technology level consistency in Dune. Dune is interesting because it intentionally limits technology. They banned advanced thinking machines. That one decision changes everything. Instead of computers doing the heavy lifting, humans are trained to replace them. Entire political and religious systems have formed around that. You also have shields that change how combat works. Guns are no longer the obvious answer. Blades are viable again because of how that technology functions. Nothing feels random. The technology
No, like Dune, for me, Dune has the best combat system. Like Star Wars combat system, it's very bad because you have these trained military soldiers that just misses. Any combat that involves guns is just boring to me because they just misses all their bullets, all their shots, and now I have to be like, yeah, even though they are trained military guys, they still misses their shot. It's like boring, man. It's just bad at that point.
level is constrained, and because it's constrained, the world feels coherent. You can see how that one rule cascades in everything. It doesn't just feel like futuristic stuff was thrown in because it sounded cool. It feels like someone thought through what would actually happen if those rules existed. Political structures in Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is a really clear example of power reshaping society. Titans exist. They're overwhelmingly strong. So what does that do to humanity? Well, humanity has to build walls, massive ones, entire cities structured around defense. The military is central to survival. The political leadership justifies itself based on protection. And technology develops specifically around vertical movement and mobility because that's the only way to fight the Titans. The architecture, the government, and the economy all reflect the threats. It doesn't feel like events are happening in a vacuum. It feels like a world under pressure adjusting to that imbalance. Once you hit level 4, your world starts feeling stable. Power has rules, technology has limits, and magic isn't just aesthetic anymore. That
The main power system in my world is gonna be loot. I feel like that's pretty much it. So I'm not gonna be extremely worried about. I'm not gonna have any advanced magic system yet. It's just gonna be depends upon. There is magic, but most of them superpowers are based on loot, and I'm gonna work around it. And since this is a game, I think this is pretty much easy compared to a novel or a story book.
alone is a big jump, but there is something still missing. Up until now, we've mostly been talking about how the world works right now. Level 5 is where you start asking how it got that way. Worlds don't just exist in a static present. That's where we move into deep culture and history.
I have deep culture and history, but it will not be revealed because I want it to be explored by players. I have it. Don't worry, I have it.
Level 5, Deep Culture and History. Level 5 is where your world stops feeling old and starts being old. Up until this point, you've made it make sense. The map works, the power systems function, culture looks distinct, everything feels intentional. Now, you have to start asking how it got that way. Deep culture isn't just what people wear or what their banners look like. It's what they believe, what they argue about, what they're embarrassed about, what they refuse to let go even though it doesn't make sense anymore. It's traditions that started for practical reasons and then became sacred. It's taboos that nobody questions because they've always been there. And history at this level isn't just, there was a war 500 years ago. It's the ripple effects of that war. It's the borders that still exist because of it. It's the ruins that affect trade. It's a religion that fractured and now has 3 competing branches. And it's stories of how places got their names. Let's give some examples. An example for culture in The Witcher. The Witcher works as a culture example because nothing feels clean or simplified. The prejudice against non-humans isn't just there to create tension. It feels old. You can tell it developed over time through war, economic competition, and fear. Different regions treat elves and dwarves differently, and that difference makes sense based on their local history. Religion isn't unified either. There are dominant faiths, fringe beliefs, cults, and folk superstitions layered on top of each other. Peasants don't think the same way a noble does. Neither do city dwellers or villagers. even if they're in the same kingdom, beliefs differ. And importantly, people contradict themselves. They hold beliefs that don't fully line up. They act out of emotion instead of logic. That's what deep culture looks like. It's inconsistent in a way that real societies are. History, the Silmarillion. The Silmarillion works because its history is so ingrained in the story. Major events don't just happen and get forgotten. They reshape geography. Entire regions were destroyed, oaths were sworn by generations, and caused wars in the next. Families will carry consequences forward for centuries. By the time you move into The Lord of the Rings, you feel that history is everywhere. The ruins aren't just aesthetic. They belong to fallen kingdoms. Characters reference ancient events as if they still matter. The key thing is continuity. One age flows into the next, and actions compound. So when someone makes a decision in the present, it feels like there's thousands of years riding on that decision. There's a difference between having ancient lore and history that actually shapes the world. Societies that feel ancient, the Elder Scrolls. The Elder Scrolls feels ancient because cultures disagree with themselves. There isn't one unified, clean version of history. There are conflicting interpretations. Different races remember the same events differently. Religious doctrines contradict each other, and political factions reinterpret the past just to justify the present. You see layers of empire on top of empire, ruins from one era reused by another, religious sites repurposed and borders shifting over time. It feels like civilization has been arguing with each other and their own pasts for centuries. In the case of the Elder Scrolls, layered disagreement and an unreliable narrator make it feel old. At level 5, your world has a memory. Things don't just appear because you needed them to, they evolved over time. Once you reach that point, your world stops feeling like a setting and starts feeling like a place that's been lived in for thousands of years. But there's still 2 more levels. Level 6, Infrastructure and Institutions. Level 6 goes deeper than most people will ever need to go, and that's okay. A lot of great stories don't operate here. You don't need to fully understand a simulated tax system to write a compelling novel. You don't need agricultural output tables to run a fun D&D campaign. But if you want a world that truly feels durable, one that can support multiple stories, genres, and timelines, this is where you will eventually end up. This level isn't glamorous. It's not dragons and ancient prophecies. It's banking, trade routes, and military logistics. It's asking if a city has 200,000 people in it, how are they eating? If an empire spans a continent, how do they actually communicate? How long does it take for an order to travel from the capital to the front line? If level 4 was machinery under the hood, then level 6 is the gears that make up that machinery. And most worlds will only imply this machinery. Level 6 is where you actually think it through. Now let's look at a couple examples. The Iron Bank of Braavos in Game of Thrones. The Iron Bank is one of the best institutional examples in fantasy. It's not flashy, it doesn't breathe fire, it doesn't swing swords. It lends money, but that lending power shapes entire kingdoms. The Iron Throne runs on debt, and wars are financed through loans. When the crown defaults, the bank doesn't throw a tantrum. It backs the opposing claimant. The Iron Bank doesn't need armies, it doesn't need dragons, it controls capital. And because that financial system exists, political decisions feel constrained. Rulers can't just wage wars endlessly without consequence. There's an external force with long-term memory and long-term incentives. It makes the world feel like it operates beyond whoever is sitting on the throne this season. The Vault Network in Fallout. The Vaults in Fallout are one of the clearest examples of infrastructure shaping the world long after the original builders are gone. On the surface, they're survival bunkers, underground shelters meant to protect people from nuclear war. But when you start looking closer, they're more than that. They're controlled ecosystems. They have governance structures and social rules. Each vault is designed as a closed system. That means if something fails, everything feels it. If leadership breaks down, the society inside stabilizes. The entire population is at risk. And because they were intentionally designed with specific constraints, sometimes even social experiments, every vault evolves differently over time. When you encounter a vault in the present day, you find the results of decades of isolated infrastructure operating under pressure. The vaults don't exist as cool set pieces. They were engineered systems and shape the people inside of them. The Train in Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is basically level 6 world building turned into a setting. The entire world is dead outside of the train. So the train isn't just transportation, it's civilization. Everything that is produced happens on board. The class system isn't abstract, it's physically arranged by train cars. The front controls the power and the resources, and the back survives on scraps. If one section fails, the whole thing collapses. What makes it work is that you can trace almost every conflict back to infrastructure. Who controls food, energy, or security? The train has to keep moving. The ecosystem has to remain balanced. That creates limits. That's the infrastructure driving the story. Level 6 is where you built the machinery. It's not flashy, it's not glamorous, but once you've thought through this layer, your world starts feeling alive. Now it can function without a protagonist or a party of players holding it together. And you've advanced on to level 7. Level 7 is a generative world. Level 7 is the goal. This is what most world builders are chasing whether they realize it or not. It's the point where your world is structurally as sound as it can be. The geography makes sense, the cultures feel lived in, powers have rules, and institutions operate independently. You've established everything necessary for the world to function like a real place. And once you reach that point, something interesting happens. The world starts generating stories for you. You can zoom into any city, any province, any port, any period of time, and there's already something there. Tension or slow burning conflict, just waiting to turn into your next story. You don't have to force plot into an empty space anymore. You're uncovering stories that logically exist because of how the world is built.
Okay, points taken. Let's work. Ah, points taken. Surface identity, huh? The world needs surface identity, not just the lands. I feel like the world needs surface identity. Like when you see the world, it's like okay, this world is from Muthu's fantasy. That's the impact that you need to get. It's like when you say Westeros, you know it's House of Dragons or Game of Thrones. When you say Hogwarts, you know it's Harry Potter, right? So there needs to be surface identity. There needs to be a lore. Yes. There is let's write Sora so because Sora also exists. So hey, Okay, the reason why I'm not adding Wiglings and Children of the Forest in the same place is because Children of the Forest are mischief and curious that the Wigling plant attacks Children of the Forest. The plant doesn't know what is what. So whenever the Children of the Forest encounters with a Wiggling plant, they just kill it. That's the plot between it. So like in order to say a race plot, right? Uh, plot. Do I have any race plot? Uh, okay, we have race plot. We have races over here. Um, is my mic breaking? Let me just cross check if my mic is breaking. Hello, hello. Is my mic breaking? Is my mic breaking? I don't think so. I don't think so. പൂവെന്നില പൂവെന്നില ഒരു കാറ്റ് തേടി ഒന്നുമില്ല ഇല്ലാതെ ഏത് ഉം. Okay, that's good. Uh, mm, so Noni's Nonis are pretty much friendly with most of friend. Isn't that how you friendliest? Okay. Plants. So Shroomen are mostly born are just essence of dead humans from a battlefield, right? So when there is a battle, children Surukerega Makaladam Lord De Marikolande. Wow. I don't have enough race. That's bad. So far, Wiggling, I need a race. Okay, children of the forest are more like druids, right? They are not fully nature. They are magic more over nature. Like they have magical power, but not nature. Wiggling is more nature than magic. Okay, let's. I need a. Should I just make it to be a human? I think I need more race. Uh, so far, we have a pacifist. Ara- Arinids are also considered pacifists. Squirrels are also pacifists. Barians are not pacifists. Humans are not pacifists. So we have three mostly pacifists. Humans are not pacifists, but they are considered dead humans. They are not. Most people are racist towards human. They are not given. How do I want to place humans in the political society? Uh, weaklings are not pacifist. Okay, let's be okay, peace for pacifist. Gnomes, pacifist, pacifist, pacifist. Humans are not pacifist, but yeah, cool. I mean, I know what I'm saying is a huge claim that being pacifist and aggressive, Nonis typically don't want to start a fight. Their mentality, they are not a race, they are a subrace of a human. And Nonis are mostly divine creatures. They started as a divine creatures, and if and something happened, it's just they stopped being divine creatures. That's it. That's the whole plot of Nonis. It's either they are divine or stopped being divine at some point. Uh, it's being the first race. I think they need. Okay, I don't know why, but I treated them as like I was being racist towards Arinets. I can't even pronounce their name. I was being racist towards them, so now I'm gonna stop being racist towards them. Driftas and you are a. So I need a race. So I'm gonna do this for my brain. I'm gonna do this. So we have bots here. We have bots here. One of them is yellow. One of them is what? So one of them is that. One of them is that. In this bots we have this bots we have who else? Uh, Wait, why am I, bro? I am so racist against these guys. Like, even though I'm the creator, I'm forgetting these guys exist. That's so bad. I want a compilation of me being racist towards a race that I created myself. I need to create a couple more races. I need to create lands and races. Humans and so far the great separation started because of these guys. Humans born because of the gay. I can't say because, but like their population started to grow because of the great separation. These guys and these guys are just passive. Ta-da. Quaddles. Okay, that makes sense. Quaddles. That makes sense. Ouch. I need one more race. No lie, I need kind of. Wait, wait. Need a race. To create a race. Yeah, but, I don't know how to say it, but what happens when something that is meant to be hot becomes cool all of a sudden? Like I'm thinking about it. Like when something cools rapidly, what happens to it? Like I'm thinking about it. Like what's happened? What do happen? I'm starting to think of something, man. It's like I want them to exist, but I'm searching for a role for them to exist. Like under what role though they exist? I'm thinking about the rules. I want a race. I want a race. Want like two more races, man. No lie. I want a race that stands. That when you look at it, you know it's from this world, my world. Don't want an elf or a dwarf. Wait, that's a mythical creature. Wait, can I do it? I have an outline for a mythical creature. I'm just thinking about making it as a playable race. Do I want? No, that's not good. Uh, mm, okay, I'm having visual ideas of races. I'm searching for the purpose or like a thing that separates them from humans, like what makes them different. Like so far, I'm just having visions of humanoid races. There's nothing special about them. There no needs to be special about them. It's just I need something from them. Is like a way they adapted, where are they from, or I just need yeah, I just Yep. Uh, I'd say they got tall as they got. Yeah, let's just keep it simple. Should I give them tail and horn? I'm thinking about it. Should I give them tails or not? I'm just thinking about should I give them tails and horns or not. None of my races have tails so far. Ah, I could give. They have tail. Could nah. Do I give them horns and tails? Let's give them horns. I found a reason to give them horns. Eh, That's so bad. I have a okay. The idea that I had is that a race has eyes on its tail and has 360 vision, but that's just so bad. Like imagine, I mean, it's good, but as a game, in a fantasy, it's okay. It's in a game. I just feel like that's too overpowered. Like a player character with 360 visions, that's bad. I'm thinking of like four arms or like three eyes or something like that. But those are all basics, like three arms or four arms, three eyes or four eyes. It's like it's just an extra limb that doesn't makes much for a race. I mean, it makes a lot, but still, I want something new. Not new, but like something different. Gee. I need one more race. That's why I'm thinking a lot. I'm not tired, so I am fresh to think. I just feel like, let me go and drink some water and come. After that, I will work on this race. Two things on my mind: a race that has fur on it, a race that looks similar to a spider. So these two things are on my mind, and I don't know if I want to combine it. The problem with spiders is that few people have like phobia for spiders. So you know, I don't want to do that shit. Fur is just, for me, fur is like a lot of games have a default for a race that I just don't want to like I don't want to do it. It's like, bruh, a lot of games have furries in them. So I'm thinking for a last race. This is gonna be the last race for today. Should I just go with three eyes? Should I just go with three eyes? Just need one more race. Let's do some research. So, Uh, elves, dwarfs, orcs. Don't want any forehands, halflings, hobbits, fairies, fauns, dryads, lizard folk, cat folk, kenku, minotaurs. From oof. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I'm still awake. Hello. Okay, okay, okay. Hello, 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 hello. I'm sorry. I just need to check. Race or is there any other fantasy race? Crew of Flying Dutchman. Uh, more interesting races or human that dark. Hello. Okay, now it works. Uh, Predators now, Predators. Human bloodline. Possess. Nah, I don't want that. Want more love and alien, but I will use it. My game do have a lot of dragons, so I'm leaning towards a dragon-oriented, dragon style or dragon-themed race. Uh, but I'm feeling like it might get too stereotypical, like Targaryens from the Game of Thrones or Dragonborns from D&D. I don't wanna. I wanna keep it fresh without being like heralds, humans, or temas, fundamental cause. You're right. Just confused. Heralds are fused. Noble shadow. Humans with human magic. Okay, I have a race in my mind. I like to work on them. I'm looking for a visual description for them in my brain. That doesn't make sense. I was thinking about the race with no eyes. So I was thinking about how they would move, and I couldn't figure out how they would move for a player race. Like I can figure out, I can throw some. I feel like I can throw some random bullshit and call it works, but for a logical way, I'm struggling them. For a race without any eyes to see. I am leaning towards a race with a more dragon themed. Ooh, I have a horror. Can I say it as horror? Do we say as horror? I was thinking about eye instead of eyelids, this part, instead of being this part, whatever this is called, I think it's called eyelids. I was thinking about a hand. Like when you, instead of closing this eyelid, the hand closes and opens like this. I was thinking about a race like that. So it's like this and then that, this, that. So basically, like that, this, that. Race like that. That's what I felt like horror. I am leaning towards more of a dragon themed because dragons do exist, right? But I'm figuring a way out to make it new, and it's like, how does this creature exist in this world? Uh, why is it so hard to create a race? Just need one race, and I don't want it to be. I can already feel people are gonna say I am using AI for my race creation. I'm just using it for research and development purpose. I'm not using AI to create a race. This is a huge claim, that I feel like people are gonna make in the future. Like, I'm not asking AI to create a new race. I'm just asking it to make, like, give me this from a race, The remade, okay, Contra. Ooh, ooh, I like this. Mistborn, huh? Mistborn. Eyeless Scholar. See, this is what I was thinking about. None of these are helping me, to be honest. Like the origin for gnome, no, gone pills, gone pills, gone pills, gone pills. The origin for gone pills I have in mind. I want the same origin for. I want an alien creature that looks like a dragon. Like, instead of a direct dragon, I'm looking for a physical feature. I don't want them to be a typical dragonborn. Okay, okay. I can feel the creativity draining out of my brain. கண்கள் மூடி இரவு தூங்கும் போத பெட்ரூம் ஃபேனும் கீழே வந்து உன்ன ஆ, They are not scaly like a dragon or any reptiles, but they do look a lot like reptiles. No life for every single things I have like a basic visual description in my brain. What the fuck happened? Hello, am I still alive? Okay, I'm alive. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, okay, that's good. Oh, yeah. Okay, what I mean by diagonally is like you have eyes here, right? You have eyes here. I want one eye to be over here, like here, which has the ability, like here, right? Which has the ability to look this side. So I have a vision of this, like a this vision. Wait, that's bad. Again, I'm going with a vision which gives a race advantage to see better. That's, if I'm gonna do that, the only way to balance this is I will take this and do this. And I will take this. No lie, they also seem they're okay. Baryons started as just tall guys, tall, bulky guys. Giving them extra FOV, I am perfectly fine with it. No lie. They started as just tall, strong guys. They didn't have any other advantages, racial advantages. I mean, tall and strong is considered as a racial advantage, could be considered as a racial advantage. But, like, is that enough? Let's just give them enhanced abilities like better FOV. Uh, they have better FOVs and they have okay. They have better FOV. They are tall, which doesn't make sense. Tall isn't tall is basically cosmetics. Strong is also cosmetic. They are just big guys. I feel like just making them a Toji Fushiguro of this world is okay, but I don't want that to be a result, if that makes any sense. Like Baryons are just tall, strong guys. Like they are not strong, they are just tall, fat guys, right? Not fatty as like fat. They are just big guys. Basically, Baryons are just big guys of this world. big guys of this world. Add NW to this. Add NW to this. And I will add NW to this. Ah, I might erase them, but I don't want to erase them. Okay, I have to write. This is gonna be the lore, and okay, let's keep the communities over. Let's keep the community over there, and I'm gonna add a race mechanic over here. What's this? This is potential, right? I am either gonna convert this into a mob or an NPC. Yeah, this. Yeah, Gonna convert this into a mob or an NPC. There is work to do. I am still working on the land and races. I haven't entered the mob section or like a item section or ability section. I think once the world is set, I can still write a fantasy story around it. It's just hard for me to make a game. So I should probably just focus on making a. I know I am making a game, and game mechanics are not as clear as it should be. I need to start writing the GTD. Ah, work, a lot of work to do. These mechanics. Black is enough. Humans. What are humans gonna? What is gonna be the race mechanics of humans? What is? Hello? What is the race mechanics of humans? Just basic. Do I want humans to be anything? Okay, the first thing that's coming to my mind is more. It's not more. It's higher maths level. Part two, which is basic. Like even in D&D, if you are playing as a human, you get more feats. You know, humans are pretty much basic. I'm thinking of a way to make a human in my game different, but making them different just means different race or going completely other than a human. So I'm thinking about it because, oof, okay, if the main, okay, let's start like this, right? Let's start like this. So we have Vigor, which is self amount. Uh, uh, I will name it afterwards. Okay. Uh, DG. Do I want gun in my game is the question. Honestly, I don't want gun. Crossbows, do crossbows need deaths? This is pretty much D&D, right? This is pretty much D&D. Stuff double damage. Let's just say that's you have stealth amount, health amount, health amount, inventory, and a bludgeoning experience, piercing damage, weapons, mana amount, slash and long range weapons, spell amount, spell damage, focus. So basically, if you are a wizard, you are a wizard. Focusing on this, and this, right? I mean, pretty much, it's like you can do whatever you want, basically. That's how games work. You can do whatever you want, but Okay, this might seem bad. Okay, let's add +1 +1. So +1 means every level up you get +1 +1. So +1. So on every level you get +1. So that's bad. I want the math to be kept simple as possible for my brain to be understood. We'll remove this because this is basic. This is basically every level you get +1, and this is basically uh time for a audio check because my laptop is overheating and I can feel it. Hello. Okay, it's not that bad. I thought it would be bad, but it's just not that bad. So humans, okay, let's just write it down. If I have any uh Onis. Which balance, I think that balances out because you have higher match level, right? So let's say 50 is match level and then 75 is the higher match level for humans, but minus 2 to strength, which means you can't. Let's do the math. So it's like 50. Wait, no, it's 75. Wait, how do I do math? 75, 75 into 2 times 150. So it's like 150 strength. So it's 75 plus 75. Yeah, I think that balances things out. Wait, that doesn't balances things out. Okay, the way to balance things out is and Igor. Okay, And okay, that makes more sense. So stamina, which means uh which means okay, so human dogs, they have -1 to strength and vigor, right? So this balances it out. So you don't get the automatic +1. You can add +1, but you don't get the automatic +1. Instead of your +1 going to your vigor, the +1 goes to your stamina. Instead of going to vigor, it goes to your stamina. So now, do you want strength? 0.5. I could do 2. I am thinking as like as a dwarf, you already have a small hitbox, right? You already have a smaller hitbox. Combat is so gonna be so hard for a dwarf or a tall guy against a dwarf. So reducing the vigor is useful. Limiting the damage is also useful. And that's so dogs are gonna be long range wizards now. With more stamina. Damn. Dogs, okay, +1. Uh, okay, so now I'm pushing them to be a wizard. This pushes them to be, forces them to be a wizard, which is bad. Which is bad. So all dogs are gonna be magical instead of the good old, dogs with hammers. You know what? I think that's fine because they have lesser inventory and bludgeoning. Yeah, that's fine. That's a knife is a knife, and as long as they can use a knife, they are gonna do a damage. Eh, So, okay, bows are considered as piercing weapons. Let's just say it. Now they uh, can be a fighter, but they have to be. Dogs can only fight with swords or anything that does slash damage, and dogs are resistant. Resistant. I can understand. Ah, or how do I say poison, acid, physical damage, or I don't want to call it situational damage, but is there any other word for me to call it other than situational, other than physical? How do I call it other than physical? Say the physical damage or physical damage or physical damage or attribute damage. Attribute damage. Instead of deaths, saying -1. Instead of saying strength, wait, I already thought about it. If I say -1 to health, it's just gonna cancel it out, which me wait, math. It's like so normally. So let's say 75, right? Plus 150 equal to, no, they have 150 health. Wait, they don't have. They have something equal to. Let's say base starts at 10, right? Let's say base health starts at 10. So for humans, they are gonna be at 85 health max level. Max human is equal to 85. For a dwarf, without putting points into health. Without putting points into health. For a dwarf, human, for a dwarf human, uh, 85 minus 1, we are going to start at 9. For a dwarf, let's say every 3 they have 1. Okay. Uh, 3 plus 1. Let's not do minus. Plus. Okay. Now it makes more sense. So, 25, right? 25. Normally, a human would have 75 health, but a dwarf only gets 25 health. Oof, that makes sense. So, for a dwarf, instead of 85, 9 plus 25, so which is 34. Maths health for dwarf is 34. What kind of math is that? A maths human health without putting points into health is 85. But for a dog, I don't know. Check out this maths. I check out this math. Check out this. So, maths human equal to 85. Starting health. Starting health on the 10 example, okay? And maths for human is 75. Okay. So maths human is 85. Maths health. Math 34 or 35 or 34. 59 at least. I could do the math to make it 60. Okay, that's more reasonable. Yeah, it's more reasonable. So now it's it's it is the variable. You guys need to understand it. This is a reference math. This is not exact number. I'm getting into my favorite part of game designing, the maths. This is so great. With a boring creating lore is boring. Now I'm entering math, my brain is working and it's 3 a.m. I could go for another half an hour. Okay, let's finish Nonis as well. After finishing Nonis, I will go to sleep. Spiritual damage, fiendish. Okay, damage type. I need a section for damage type. Oof, the game is growing, man. Plus three. Do I want to add plus three? Plus three seems a big. Let's just say plus two. Plus two seems big enough. Plus two seems big. Smaller hit odds. They have L1 plus 1 for mind. L1, L1. I will write first, then I will do the math. I can do the math tomorrow. They have for mind and focus. Sort of. uh, Focus. There they have L2 plus 1 for uh, L2 plus 1 for wizard. Dwarfs had the complicated math. Where it's just L3 strength. L2 is fine. 3 seems too big. Like the level gap for I if 35. Yeah, if it's 3 then it becomes 35, which is too big. There is no balance. 85 and 60, I feel like there is a balance, right? You are getting you get L1 for defense and stamina. You get more stamina and defense, which might force people to play dwarf wizard. Yeah, I can see that this might force people to play dwarf wizard. But if they want, they can be resistant and have stamina. They just do less damage, which can be compromised with the items they have and the skill they possess. I mean, at the end of the day, vigor is still 60 plus ads, so that ads can be anything, whatever they want, right? So I'm thinking either L2 plus 1 for defense, like on a natural. So you would land at 60 defense, right? Well, defense. let's see. Normal defense would be 60 plus ads, but the dwarf defense would be 80 plus ads. Oof, numbers, man. Yeah, I feel like that would force dwarf players to play wizards. That could force dwarf players to play wizards instead of unironically, I feel like Dwarf might be the best race or sub race for a sorcerer is like mind bending for me. Like, how do a dwarf become a better sub race for wizards or magic damage? I mean, it goes along with folklore or a myth of dwarf being magical. They do have more stamina though, and defense. It could be physical if they put the point into physical damage, which means attribute still does damage to them. Oh, I like this so much. The game is getting interesting. And with that, I'm gonna end the stream. Oof, we are entering the maths and I am loving it. I am loving it. Oh my god, this is getting good. Nobody is watching the stream. I will be honest. Nobody is watching the stream. So I'm just gonna end it just like that. Like complete honesty. I'm just gonna end it just like that. Thanks for watching. Uh, and I will see you guys on another tomorrow maybe. I wanted to say another live stream, but probably just tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for